Hey folks, welcome to Casting with Kirk. I'm Kirk, so glad you could join me today. So recently a viewer asked me a question about how to pick the correct size jig head for bass fishing. And he asked if I could do a video on it. So here we are. So size of a jig head is largely determined by different conditions. You might have windy conditions, so you're going to need heavier jig head. If you're looking for different depths, that's going to require different weights. There's so many different factors that you can factor in when looking for the right size jig head. Now, jig heads come in all different shapes, sizes. You've got bullet ones for like swim jigs. You got football for dragging your football jigs around rocks and pitching jigs. You've got swim jig heads that are specifically made for a swim jig or swim bait body. You've got Ned heads, you've got tube heads, round ball heads, and you got some shaky heads, and there's many other too on the market. Now, when you're looking at depth of course is relative to whatever lake you're fishing, but like if you're fishing shallow water, you could want to go with something that's like a 1/16 ounce or 1/4 ounce or something that doesn't just crash to the bottom real quick. If it's deep water, you might want to go 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce. When you're fishing these different depths, you're going to need to figure out the fall rate. Now, that is how quickly or slow the jig and the lure are falling. Now, in cold water, you want a slower fall rate, so you want to go with something that's a smaller, lighter size jig head. Like you might go with a 1/4 ounce pitching jig that's going to fall a little bit slower in the cold water because the bass aren't moving as fast. Summertime, crank up that 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce, throw that thing out, crash that down. They're going to go in for that reaction bite because the water's warmer, their bodies are hotter, they can go a lot faster. Now, wind condition, if say you're throwing a small little ball head jig, 1/8, 1/16 ounce, and you got just a little swim bait body on it, and you cast that out, as it's falling into the water, because of the wind, you could have this big bow in your line. Now, you're not feeling that lure and what it's doing. A bass could grab it, you wouldn't even know it until that line stretches out, and he may spit the lure on you. Another factor is you want bottom contact when you're throwing things like jigs. You want that jig to come down, hit the bottom, and you want to feel your line nice and tight and feel that jig as you're dragging it or hopping it on the bottom. So you might need a heavier weight to get down further, and especially if you're casting further out, you need that bottom contact to feel what it's doing down there. They come in all different sizes. You're talking everything from 1/64, 1/32, 1/8, 1/4, 3/8, 1/2 ounce, 3/4. Even some companies are making them now in full 1 ounce jig heads that really get good casting distance, and you can fish those things deep. Now, my personal favorites for like swim jigs, 1/4 ounce. Great casting distance. I control the depth by how fast or how slow I'm actually reeling it in, and also by my line size. The thinner the line, the deeper it's going to go. The thicker the line, the higher it's going to ride. Again, 3/8 ounce is my favorite for the football and pitching jigs. 1/4 ounce for my swim baits, mainly because a 1/4 ounce plus these swim bait bodies actually weigh quite a bit. You can get great casting distance. If I'm going more finesse style, I might go with just a 1/8 ounce shaky head, a little 1/16 ounce Ned head, 1/8 ounce or a 16 ounce tube jig head, and again, a nice little 1/16 ounce ball head jig. All right, so I hope that clears things up a little bit when it comes to picking jig size. If you have any more questions about this kind of stuff, go ahead and throw it below. We'll definitely continue the conversation. Well, I thank you folks for joining me today. You folks get out and do some bass fishing. Have a great day.